are experiencing dramatic and transformational change. Put your hand up if in some way you have either yourself personally come in contact with or a member of your family the aged care service system, disability service system, family violence, mental health, all of the systems that we are seeing dramatic change in. The NDIS was introduced by Julia Gillard's government in 2012, and then in 2013 she established with the Parliament the Royal Commission into Institutional Responses to Child Sexual Abuse. And we've all watched the progress of that Royal Commission and what it said about and the way it has changed and given voice to changing attitudes in the community. There are very dramatic changes in community expectations across the social economy. We've had 5 Royal Commissions in this space in the last 6 years. Sexual abuse within institutions, disability services. The more recent ones are disability, mental health, and aged care, and family violence here in Victoria. And the conversation in the community that has led up to that and has been emerged because of it is absolutely transforming the way we think about the social service system. One of the biggest is very basic demographic changes. We're about to have significantly more people requiring aged care than we do have in the workforce. One of the things that we have to be thinking about is not only the numbers of people in the workforce, but the job to be done and what those people need to be doing, which community expectations of are very different than it used to be. I'm a social worker of 25 years and I'm actually a 3rd generation social worker. I actually came to RMIT and studied straight from school because I looked at what my mother and my grandmother both did and I said, I'm not doing that, that's way too hard. My mother was a social worker in child protection and my grandmother migrated from Manchester and worked in employment in Dandenong. And they were tough women doing very difficult jobs. So I came to RMIT and did fine art. Thought, I'm not doing that. Didn't take very long though. I became involved in the Student Representative Council here at RMIT, and then I left RMIT and my first job was in family violence. So I've been working in the industry ever since. This photo was taken about a month ago. I've spent the last 3 years living in Cambodia as the global CEO for an organisation that works with women and children who've experienced slavery, human trafficking and significant human rights abuses. And this is the fabulous team that I've worked with and I am very proud to have been part of the work that they have done. One of the pieces of work that is absolutely transformational in Cambodia has been in response to the issue of children who are ending up in orphanages who should never be there. So many of you will have seen there's been a whole lot of attention in the Australian media about the orphanage tourism and the orphanage industry in Cambodia. There are children in orphanages who should be with their families, but they're in orphanages because it has literally become an industry. Now, that's happened over a long period of time. Transforming that requires creating a workforce that doesn't exist at the moment. Social work has only been introduced as a qualification in Cambodia 10 years ago, and there are very small numbers of people who are graduating, and it's an emerging discipline. There's no social work profession really as such in Cambodia. But if you think about what you need to do to transform a system where there are thousands of children in orphanages, keep them in community, in family, but ensure that they're safe, because some of those children should be in care. Some of the families that they've come from, it's not safe for those children. You need a profession, you need a group of people who are able to work with communities, make assessments about safety, help support families so that those children can stay with their families. Because often, like in many countries, children end up in orphanages because of mental health issues, poverty, unemployment, and if you are able to invest in supporting the family, then the children can stay safe in those families. And we know that children thrive in a loving family, more so than in institutional care. So you need to create a profession to be able to do all of the jobs that you don't think about, all of the steps that are required in keeping children in their families. One of the pieces of work that Hagar has been leading is the development of social work standards for Cambodia. And we did that, again, in partnership with local communities. You need to make an assessment of what the level of capability is within those communities. What is it what's the baseline that we're lifting from? What are the qualifications that people need? How are we going to train them? How do we attract people into this industry? So very similar issues are being faced across Asia, across the world, that we are talking about here today. We absolutely know we have the burning platform. We know that we have to make change. We know we have to lead and respond to changing community needs and expectations. We have to bring in more people. We have to educate them and train them and build their ability to respond to increasing complexity of issues and needs. And I feel like a kid in a lolly shop coming back to RMIT. I have to tell you, having been in Cambodia where if I had an issue then it was me and a couple of other people responding to it, to be part of a university that has demonstrated its commitment to partner with industry, that Vicos is an engaged founder of the institute and helping lead the change that we need, that partnership with industry is critical. And I don't actually think, I don't actually think there is any university that is better placed than RMIT, that has all the way from the research capabilities to ensure that we've got the evidence base, that we are delivering the right things for the right people. RMIT is the perfect partner. We have a really strong partnership with industry that is led through Vicos, and we know that we have the commitment of government to lead and resource the change that is needed. Now, many of us have not had fabulous experiences of a lot of the social services that we're talking about. The Royal Commissions have been driven by knowing that there is a need for change. We have a responsibility to step up and ensure that A, there are enough people doing the work that needs to be done, but they're doing the right jobs, and that we're supporting them in doing that. This is a fabulous industry. There are extraordinary people who are working in this industry and have often been doing it very low pay, very little professional development, often unskilled. I went to a graduation on Friday, my first graduation ceremony at RMIT, with a group of Cert 4 students who had been working in the disability industry, many of them for many years, unqualified. And they were so proud. They brought their family members along with them. They were so proud of actually having been able to get a certification. And the woman who got up and spoke at the graduation talked about the fact that she didn't really expect to learn very much. She needed the bit of paper. And I smiled, because I remember when I went and did social work, I was a bit like, I know I need the bit of paper because I'd done fine art, printing and painting, but how much she learned. She talked about how much she learned, both from the incredible teachers and from her peers. And I sat and watched them all nod. And that's what's the beauty of, that course was designed in partnership with industry. And it's a new cutting edge program that the Vocational Education School is delivering. And that we need more of that, and that's what the Institute is here to help bring the collaboration and partnership together. So it's fabulous to have you all here today. And as David said, yes, we are keen to respond and partner with you and keen to hear your ideas and work out solutions together. Thank you for being here today.